Well, good morning, guys. Big A, here we are on the Station Camp Greenway. What a beautiful day. I'm telling you, it's my favorite time of the year. Spring is here. It is absolutely unbelievable out here this morning. I want to talk to you a little bit about contrasting lifestyles. Dan Miller and Tom Schwab and I and a couple other buddies last year went to the Inc. conference here in Nashville. And it was pretty good. I can't say it was great. I want to be honest with you. It was okay. It's not something that I really care to go back to. We go to a lot of conferences. That wasn't one of my favorite. But it does give a good illustration for today's topic, what I want to talk to you about. I'm not going to tell you who the guy was because it's not really relevant. But they had a guest speaker that is a phenomenal businessman. This guy's made tons of money. I actually got up this morning and looked him up on Google, and they said that his estimated net worth is $250 million. And I'm like, that's pretty good for a guy to start from nothing, make $250 million. I told this story about 2 months ago on a Facebook Live, but I didn't finish the story, so I'm going to share a little bit with you. This is going to take a minute. Some of you guys may be in a hurry. You'll want to catch the replay of it. But this guy was on the road, he said 280 days a year making money. Okay, now bear in mind he's got $250 million. He missed Christmas. I'm like, that is unconscionable to me. I can't even imagine having $250 million and missing Christmas. This guy's got 2 little girls, and they were young at the time. And he came home 2 days after Christmas, and his wife said, that's it, we're done, I'm out of here. And here's what's sad to me, is he chose his business over his wife and his 2 little girls. And here's what he said even at the conference, to his own admission. This is not something I'm saying, this was to his own admission. He said that even now, he'll travel 250 to 300 days a year. And here's was his explanation. There's still more money to be made. And I'm telling you, man, when he said that, my heart sank. I thought, how in the world could a guy get so far off track? Now, the truth is, he didn't get married, stand there that day thinking, I'm going to pursue money more than my family, and at some point I'm going to give up my wife and I'm going to give up my little girls for making more money. He didn't have that thought. Nobody has that thought. Nobody stands up there on the platform and makes a covenant before God and says, someday I'm going to choose my business over my family. It's kind of a black hole sometimes. It can suck you in if you don't have trusted advisors or an accountability group or somebody holding you accountable. And I started thinking about our mastermind group and some of the guys that are in our groups, and what are the common themes among some guys that are very successful. And I'm going to name a couple of guys here, not because I think they're any better than anybody else, it's just because I've known them longer than I have other guys. But we've got guys like Matt Miller. Matt owns School Spirit Vending, which is a very successful vending company. They have about 2,500 schools across America. They just went international. I'm real excited and proud of him. But the thing is that he and Amy have a relationship that they set boundaries. And they have 3 of the most precious children you've ever seen, teenage up through college age. And the kids always want to come back home from college, spend time with their family, and they still do family vacations because they've built boundaries. And I coach Matt. I've been coaching him for about 3.5 years. And he said, you know, there's only a certain level I'll go to. There's only a certain amount of money that you need to live the life that you want to live. And my family is more important to me than the money. And so my hat's off to Matt. There's another guy named Scott Beebe. Scott and Ashley live in Bluffton, South Carolina. And they've got an amazing business also, My Business on Purpose. He's got 3 beautiful children. And I'm telling you, they put their trust and confidence in Christ. And then out of that, it comes a sense of family. And then their business. And they have boundaries. They do family vacations. They do devotions together. They pray together. They hang out together. They go on vacation together. They leave their electronics turned off and they put notifications on there that says, hey, I love you, but I won't be available for you or anybody else for a week. We're going to go hang out at a hotel or a resort, or we're going to do family. We're going to do things together. And at night, they cut the electronics off and they spend time together playing board games or watching TV or hanging out pitching ball or whatever. They live there in one of the inlets. I don't understand this, though. This has nothing to do with it. They live in an area right off the coast where the water comes in when the tide's up. 50% of the time the water's out, and I'm like, they ought to pay half price to live in a place where the ocean's only in their backyard half. I'm just messing with you, Scott. Brett Barnhart lives in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Brett's got an amazing business there as well. Crystal and he have 2 beautiful little children, and they've put boundaries around their time at work. Brett's got a hugely successful construction business there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But he says at the end of the day, I'm done, I'm finished, I cut it off, I go in. Well, here's what the difference, the contrast is one guy that's hugely successful, has $250 million in net worth, is alone. He doesn't have anybody looking forward to him coming home at night, sharing times together. And then you got a guy that's hugely successful, makes plenty of money, they're comfortable, but they've built boundaries. And I started thinking about the common denominator among these guys. And here's what it is. You know, some people are going to say, that's offensive. Well, that's the truth. I can't help it if it's offensive. They have Christ in their life. They're Christians, and they put their hope and their confidence and their faith in Christ. And when they do that, God gives them the desires of their heart. He changes the desires of your heart. And what they've done is they've made a pledge and an obligation to their family and to Christ. And they said, you alone are going to be more important than me with a very hugely successful career. Although they're hugely successful, that's what's so comical about it, is that they've got their priorities in place. I coach people that have millions of dollars and there's a void in their life. And I talk to them all the time about what their identity is tied up in. Some of you guys right now are thinking, Big A, this is not politically correct. Well, there ain't a politically correct bone in my body. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just who I am. It's what this business is about. It's not about being politically correct, you know, and the word is offensive. That the Bible teaches that the word is offensive because there's rules, there's regulations, there's grace, there's all these things that God has laid out for us to live our life. And when we get off track, there's a void, there's a hollowness, there's an emptiness. And I coach people all the time that have more money than they'll ever spend. And they say, I feel empty, I feel void. It's because their identity is tied up in the wrong thing. It is so exciting to me when I see guys that put their confidence and faith in Christ. They still have a successful business. They still have a successful family. And at the end of the day, they don't miss Christmas. They don't go out on the road 300 days a year trying to make more money for the sake of making more money. And I keep asking, for what? Why do you want to make more money? Is it just to impress your friends? Is it just to have a fatter bank account, more security, more safety, more stuff, bigger yachts, bigger... All that stuff is good. I'm not complaining about people having stuff. I want you to have stuff. I like to make a great living. I like to make money. I like to go on vacation. I like all those things. But my goodness, I don't want to do it at the expense of my family. I don't want to come home one day and find my suitcases or my wife sitting on the front porch. I don't want some other man pushing my kids in a swing or some other man kissing my wife goodnight at night because I was too dadgum stubborn and lazy and had too much ego and too much pride to cut off all the stuff, turn the lights out and go home and be with my family. And guys, I want to encourage you. Some of you right now need to have this talk with your wife. You need to go home tonight and say, what are we trying to do? What is the reason that we're wanting to make more money? And we don't even know each other. And then the kids move out, then you don't have anything in common. Somebody else gets your attention and you go on your way. I see it happening day in and day out, time in and time out. I don't want that happening to you guys. I want you to pay attention. I want you to sit down with your wife and talk about the things that are important and the reason that you're wanting to make money. I want you to pay attention to your families. They're the most important thing that there is. It's not your business. It's not your money. It's not your stuff. It's your family. And kids are starving to death today for your time, because you just want to make some more money just for the sake of having it to buy more stuff. Guys, quit doing that. I don't want you to do that. All right, so pay attention. I know this is pretty heavy stuff this morning, and quite honestly, it's not something that I necessarily enjoy talking about because I know it touches a nerve with a lot of guys. But I guess I'm here to touch a nerve just a little bit. I want you to pay attention. I don't want you to end up in the same situation that this guy with all this money did. Now he's got nobody. To me, that's pretty sad, and I don't want that happening to you guys at all, okay? Well, hey, I'm sorry if I offended anybody, but I want you to have the lifestyle that these three guys, Matt Miller, Brett Barnhart, and Scott Beebe have. Man, you around those guys, there's a countenance that they have. There's a spirit that they have. It's giving, it's loving, it's caring, it's looking out for other people. It's not just about themselves, but they want to take you to that level too. And so I'm telling you how you can do it. They've set strict boundaries. They love their families, and they're not going to lose their family for the sake of making a little bit more money, okay? I could have said this about a number of guys in our mastermind group. Those guys I just happen to know for a long time, and I know them intimately, and I know their families. And what's exciting is there's great things in store and ahead for them. Well, listen, I got to get out of here. I got to go enjoy the day. Hope you guys have a good one. I'm Big A coming to you live from the Station Camp Greenway. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you.